Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, y'all. CWS is almost set after we had all but two teams punch their tickets to Omaha, somewhere in middle America. I'm counting crows for you today. If it's that one, or maybe it's Todd T, back home in Omaha guy. So, of course, so as not to bury the lead, Tennessee lost, and that was magnificent to watch. I tweeted yesterday, and the tweet kind of got some serious play. It's been retweeted on over 3,000 times. I'll read you my tweet directly, so as not to paraphrase myself. In college baseball, legacies are made in June. This Tennessee team's legacy will be 1. Being colossal a-holes. 2. Gagging away a home super regional as a number 1 seed. Couldn't have happened to a better bunch. Tennessee's eliminated. Thrilled to see them eliminated. They were insufferable throughout the course of this year, flipping off fans as they round the bases, cursing out umps on ball strike calls, Tony Vitello chest bumping umpires, the insufferable bat flips, pimping homers, and then having the audacity to be upset at other people when they did the same thing to them. They were the worst. Using juiced bats, getting popped for using an illegal bat, and then all the other circumstantial stuff that I mentioned about, whole bunch of dudes who were just who became like the greatest ever in 1 year, because that happens. Could not be more excited that Tennessee lost. I don't usually revel in someone else's misfortune or misery, but this is a case where I'm absolutely reveling in their misfortune and misery. I want nothing good at all for Tony Vitello or that program. The players are a reflection of their coach, and he's a colossal a-hole. And I will never pull for them in anything. So glad Tennessee lost. How about Arkansas? They win the Chapel Hill Super Regional, so Arkansas is in the College World Series. Number 1 seed a year ago, did not lose an SEC weekend all year, and got bounced in the Super Regional round. And now this year, a team that won 18 SEC games and was not even a regional host, it's laughable, is in the College World Series. Oklahoma beat Virginia Tech 11-2, so Oklahoma's on to the College World Series. Ole Miss blanked Southern Miss 5-0, and it's just incredible that Southern Miss, their offense stunk in this postseason, except when they played LSU. I mean, they scored 2 runs against Army. They were stuck on a 2 spot against Kennesaw State. They got blanked twice by Ole Miss. They did not score, except against LSU. And you're going to say, well, what does that say about LSU's pitching? Yo, Army ain't exactly gangbusters. Kennesaw State had a staff ERA north of 6. I mean, crazy. Oregon State beat Auburn 4-3, so there'll be a deciding game today. Same with Stanford and UConn. Stanford beat UConn 8-2, so deciding game today. And then Texas was down to its final out on Saturday. Came back to take the lead, won in the bottom of the 9th. And then, or did they go to the 10th yesterday? I can't remember. Well, let me just look. No, okay, so they won in the Texas took the lead in the bottom 8th. East Carolina tied it in the top of the 9th. And Texas walked it off in the bottom of the 9th, 9-8. And then yesterday, Texas just blew out East Carolina 11-1. So Cliff Godwin and East Carolina is still looking for that evasive CWS trip. And again, it's worth mentioning again. I told you that East Carolina being a host was laughable. Told you that Maryland being a host of a national seed was laughable. They're both bounced. I mean, who you play matters. All right, say some good mornings here. Brian Pinton, good morning. Had a laugh yesterday. Tennessee thought they were the best team ever. Yep. They had a great regular season, and they will only be remembered now for being a-holes and gagging it away. No one will remember a team that was number 1 in April and May. Benton Alford, Thomas Bergeron, Hom Tam Win, good morning. Father John David Mathern. Morning, Scone. As a general rule, I don't like Notre Dame, but it was great to see the Tennessee fans quiet in their own stadium. Yeah, their Padre, I was not cheering for Notre Dame. I was just cheering against Tennessee. I don't want good things for Notre Dame's athletic department. And especially wearing the abomination uniforms that they were wearing yesterday, same ones they wore on Friday, which actually makes it a little sweeter that Tennessee lost to a team wearing whatever that was Notre Dame was wearing yesterday. That actually makes it a little bit better. Newt Douglas, good morning. Paul Batts, man. Oh, Matt still has them Vols fans spitting. You love to see it. Yeah, I was kind of like wearing an invisible force field yesterday, though, because I genuinely don't care what any of them say. And here's the thing. I understand supporting your team. I do. I understand supporting your team. And if your team are a bunch of a-holes, they're your a-holes. But you have to acknowledge that they're a-holes. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is a nuisance. He's a nuisance. He's a pest. Taunts everyone, never stops talking. But he's ours, so I love him, and I'll acknowledge that. I've told y'all, when he played at Florida, I hated him. Hated playing against him, love when he's on your team. And that's okay for Tennessee fans. Like, you can love your guys, and that means loving them flipping off the crowd and cursing out umps and Vitello chest bumping people and using aluminum or using illegal bats and all that. That's fine. You can love your team, but you have to acknowledge that you're the villain. And you're not the villain because you're good. You're the villain because you're a-holes. Arkansas was awesome last year. They were the best team in college baseball. Arkansas did not lose an SEC weekend last year. Nobody hated Arkansas. They hate you because you're you. Because you behave the way you do. Clean it up. Dustin Bolello, good morning, Scone. Never pulled for the Irish in my life, but I did yesterday. Jack Laverne, that's no small feat to beat them 2 times. Glad to see them humbled, but credit to Notre Dame. That's true, man. Link Jarrett's probably about to go be the Florida State head coach, I'll bet you. Link Jarrett, the Notre Dame coach, played at Florida State. That job's open. He's probably going to take that job. Lance Richard, morning, Matt. Only thing I'm upset about with Tennessee lost, I didn't get to see it happen. I did. Man, I put Drew in the pool. We got a TV in the outdoor kitchen we built, so got in the pool. Just sat in the pool yesterday. Let Drew swim around. I watched Tennessee lose. It was brilliant. Tim Gautreau. Brandon, what's going on, man? Pat Huseman, good morning. Brad Johnson. Randall Offrecht. Greg Self. Larry Gardner. Jesse Brown, good morning. What's up with Notre Dame's uniforms yesterday? Looked like someone sewed their grandma's drapes together. That's a good way of putting it. They actually look like pajamas. Do you guys say pajamas or pajamas? I've always said pajamas my whole life, but I feel like more and more people are saying pajamas. And so I'm like, am I saying it wrong? Is it pajamas, or does either work? Yes, they were atrocious. The all dark blue thing, I mean, they're terrible. And then the batting helmets are even worse. To go with the football helmet gold, like shiny gold, just give me a standard blue batting helmet with the Notre Dame on the emblem. Come on. Clean it up, guys. Jeremy Newslosh. Morning, Matt. Bathing in Tennessee's tears. Botello was arrogant, still in his presser. That doesn't surprise me. I didn't hear it, but whatever. Taz, can any player from the New Orleans Breakers make the Saints 53-man roster? Taz, I would be lying to you if I told you I'd watched a single second of New Orleans Breakers football. Do not know who's on the team. So I cannot answer that question. Cliff Nelson, good morning. Let's see, Randall. Tony said in his post-game that the juice back accusation was false. And isn't it something that he's still having to answer that in the post-game presser after his season ended? And of course he's going to say it's false. But he was using they were caught using an illegal bat. That's a fact. They had a hitter caught using an illegal bat. That's an absolute fact. And if you think that was just a coincidence and a one-off, I don't. I've heard too many stories from people within baseball circles who have all independent of each other said the same thing. Tim Gotro, once again, my DraftKings bet kept someone from winning a championship. It's like my Marvel hero superpower. I promise to only use it for the forces of good, never evil. Let's see. Cliff, here's hoping Drew's first good day. Thank you, Cliff. Appreciate that. Yeah, so getting Drew up here. So this is going to be, for this week, kind of more closely resembling school. So I'll be, school weeks, school days. So I'll be on like 7:20 to 7:50 here on Morning Scone. Jesse Post, Brett Dagro, Rocky Top, you'll always be underachievers in the SEC. Yeah, I like that one. Merrick Mathern, good morning from Destin. Brandon, if you're going to claim to be the best team ever, at least wait until you win the Natty. There have been Tennessee fans throughout the year that have sort of peppered me with chest out that they were ranked number one in the country. And I remember saying back in April, hey, nobody ever remembers teams that are ranked number one in April. And there was one guy in particular who came back. He was like, what in May? He's like, what about in May? And it's been like 6 straight weeks. I'm like, yeah, talk to me when the last team's holding the trophy. And here you have it, man. No one is ever going to remember that Tennessee was ranked number one. If they do remember, they'll just remember that they were a good team that gagged. That's your legacy. Rapping Batches Trivia Carter, good morning. Jurassic Park sucked. Dave Van Der, good morning. Paul Batts, Vols fans are trashing Coogan and Eddie Furness on Twitter. They're human trash. Hey, look. So Eddie Furness, college baseball Hall of Famer, obviously still 25 years later, holds SEC records. Eddie Furness yesterday tweeted, "No one gets away with anything ever, so don't be a bunch of a-holes and confuse it with fire and emotion. Baseball gods are always watching." That's Eddie Furness. That's one of the greatest college baseball players ever. I didn't say one of the greatest baseball players ever. I said one of the greatest college baseball players ever. A guy who, 25 years after his career ended, still holds SEC records. And is as nice and good a human as you'd ever want to meet. He's a doctor in Texas. For Eddie, who rarely tweets, but for Eddie Furness to go to Twitter and sound off like that, there's something wrong with you. Hey, y'all, shout out to Brock Rock and Wine. Tickets available, brortho.com. Help spread the word. August the 6th in Tiger Stadium. So, in the South Stadium Club. So, for a lot of people, that's just going to be really cool. It'll be the first time ever to go up to the South Stadium Club, So, get your tickets, brortho.com. Food, tons of wine, of course. Live music, brortho.com. Jonathan Martin, what's going on? Honk Tam win. Imagine a bunch of Tennessee fans were canceling their OMO trips. I would imagine so. A lot of airline miles refunded today. Paul Batts, Vol fans say Tennessee is saving college baseball. See, here's what I'll disagree with on that, Paul. And the notion that Tennessee's good for college baseball, because I did see some of that. Tennessee I don't think Tennessee brought new fans to college baseball. I think they just pissed off existing fans. Does that make sense? Like, Tiger Woods brought people to golf. You have some of those transcendent type people. Like Simone Augustus brought LSU fans to women's basketball. Tennessee didn't bring new people to college baseball. I think college baseball fans took a side with Tennessee, but I don't think all of a sudden, like, I mean, again, Arkansas was dominant last year. We see dominant teams in college baseball. The thing that will grow the game is, and I hate to say it, I'm going to say it, but you'll understand why I hate to say it. What grows the game is when new places are hosting postseason ball and their fans get set an emotional hook. East Carolina hosting a super regional, Virginia Tech hosting a super regional. Those types of things, UConn playing, winning a regional and traveling to Palo Alto, Maryland hosting a regional, right? Like, those things grow the game because it brings games of great importance to certain fan bases and they get to experience it. No one in Maryland cares about Tennessee. I mean, we care more about Tennessee because they're in the SEC, But by and large, like, people who aren't college baseball fans didn't start watching college baseball this year to watch Tennessee. Kelly Groves, Truax, Ron Ritchie, Bubba Tatum, good morning. Lee Allen. Anyone have a time on the Warbirds game? I ain't saying the Eagle, bro. Let's see. Today's games. Auburn and Oregon State's at 6:30. The UConn-Stanford game I'm looking at NCAA.com is TBA. Let's see. Will LSU have a pitching staff for next season? Absolutely they will. They've already got one in the portal and likely a second, and got a bunch of guys returning. Hopefully they take a step forward. You got like 11 pitchers signed in the recruiting class, so yeah. Got to put it all together, though. And you can come together. Look at Ole Miss. I mean, they were a total disaster. I mean, they were literally the last at-large team in the field. But moving Dylan DeLucia into the rotation, having the freshman lefty who threw yesterday really start to emerge, it's stabilized their pitching staff, and they've continued to hit. Good for them. They found it. They found it at the right time. Deborah Cowart, Ricky Lambert, Lance Richard. They lost to a team wearing beer league softball uniforms. Kind of what it's like. Jonathan Martin, Lane Kiffin tweet was the cherry on top. Ooh, I didn't see that, but I would love to go now. See? Which one? The deep breath, relax, I guess. I don't know. Matt Godwin, Chris Andrepont, good morning. Let's see. Merrick, not hearing much from the so-called USM fans. Yeah, they've left. Mark, though, he's not here right now, or hasn't been this morning yet, but he's been consistent. But where are we? Demu, what's up, man? Yep, Furness was a goat, man. Dave Endur, Gilbert will forever be the most used meme with the mouth open. Yep. Wendell Norman, let's see. Matt Lusto, you buying the dip? So Matt, the answer to that is always yes. But I cost average, right? But I'm gonna wait and hope that it gets a little closer to 20. Sorry about Bitcoin, by the way. That it gets a little closer to 20, and then I'll hammer it. Taking a calculated risk here, but I don't think it's done dropping, which is very exciting. Let's see. Jarrett may be the only coach in history to win a natty and leave. Wouldn't that be something? If Notre Dame's football coach left on the verge of the playoff, right? Like, we don't know that one can happen though. And then Link Jarrett left Notre Dame after getting to the College World Series. It happens. I mean, Notre Dame's not going to win a national championship, but we've seen coaches get to Omaha and then leave. I mean, Jay Johnson did it last year. He was in Omaha last year. Loving that the Vols took the L. Their fans are the worst. This has basically just become a Tennessee hate show today. I kind of like it. Hunter Fournette, maybe if Southern Miss didn't get Tanner Hall to throw 150 pitches last weekend, he would have been better this weekend. Tanner Hall was pretty good yesterday, man. I don't know that last weekend really meant much of anything. I mean, he threw Friday and then threw 30 pitches on Monday. I mean, that could have effectively been like a bullpen day. I really don't put any stock into that. And then he pitched Monday and had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He had 5 days rest. I mean, you're not going to get that in the majors, So get used to pitching, sort of thing. Robert Potts, Matt, for those of us who don't see every game, article, video, or comment about Tennessee baseball that made them the villains, will you explain it beyond if you know, you know? I mean, so, Robert, I kind of have, but their whole demeanor this year was a very, collectively, was a brash, not only just arrogant, as if to say you're good and you know you're good and you carry yourself with swagger, but just a-holes. Like Tony Vitello running out of the dugout and chest bumping an umpire. Like, that's not okay. You have a player hit a home run, and as he's rounding first base, he flips off the fans. What they're mentioning is Drew Gilbert, who struck out. I mean, this is their starting center fielder and their best hitter. Excuse me, he didn't even strike out. It was a 1-0 count, and the home plate umpire called a strike to make it a 1-1 count. And he looks at the home plate umpire and says, "You're effing terrible. That's effing terrible." And he threw him out of the game. And then he looked aghast. And the pitching coach comes running out of the dugout and then goes and gets in the umpire's face, and he gets run. They literally got caught using a juiced bat earlier this year. I mean, it's just that never end, like everything with this team. They pimp home runs, huge bat flips, which, okay, but then when people do it to them, they try to fight. It's just, there was nothing likable about this team. And the more they carried that persona, the more their fans and everybody dug into it, and that's why everyone, like, it's a consensus. Everyone was happy to see that team lose. Merritt Mathern, who do you like to win the College World Series? Hang on, Drew's backpack's beeping. I'll be right back. Oh, I gotta go at 7:50. All right, y'all. Sorry, I'm gonna have to wrap this up because I had to get drunk, go and get Drew away, get him to school. So, if I missed your comments, yeah, Robert, just pull up Twitter and look up Tony Vitello and look up Tennessee, and you'll see a lot of it. There's plenty of articles and plenty of everything out there. All right, guys, I'm so sorry if I missed your comments. I gotta roll. Drew Scone greater than Drew Gilbert. You're damn right. Okay, they did set UConn Stanford. That's so weird. Like, it's not even on the NCAA website yet. It just says TBA. I'm looking at NCAA.com scoreboard. It still says TBA. All right, y'all, I got to bounce. Y'all have a great day. LSU Daily, it'll be up around 10 a.m. AFR 3, we'll look forward to seeing you then. Peace.